Okay, testing live streaming. So, gonna do work on sort of vibes coding work on the Observatory tool. This is mostly a test right now of a bunch of these tools. I see my face down there and it makes me want to look at it on a different screen. Maybe I should turn that off. But whatever. So, we're gonna be testing. We're gonna be working on the Observatory product and using Zed, my editor, with Claude, the LLM baked in. It's very distracting to have me down there. What if I... Alright, well now I can't see myself. That's maybe better. But I want to be able to see myself. Probably better if I had a little video of myself right there. Anyway, so, kind of in the middle of the project with Observatory, so it's not a great place to pick up for a live stream, but this is a test, so that's what we're going to do. So, let me give you a little bit of context first. I think maybe the important thing, context on me, I am not a software engineer, but over the last 4 or 5 months, I've been building stuff with software, and it's a big breakthrough. And so I want to do a series of videos, or at least just streams, while I'm doing my work, so that people can get a chance to see how I do it. There are a bunch of tutorials out there for vibe coding or vibes coding, but I think what I do is a little different than what's commonly done, because normally what vibes coding is about is programmers, software engineers, who are using this different method. Instead of writing the code, they're like just kind of working with the LLMs and not paying so much attention to the code itself. They're kind of copy pasting. That is what I do, but I'm not a programmer. So this is my only option. It's the only way that I can write code, and it feels like a sea change, like a I've been near code my entire career, but haven't been able to write code, at least not at all fluently. And now I can. Now I can build stuff with code. So what I want to do, I'm really inspired to show other non-technical folks, other non-programmers, how to do this. Because you can code now too. You can build stuff with tools. Feels like a mode of expression that was formerly closed to me is now opened. And it just unlocks so much. So probably going to make a series of videos, or some number of videos, showing non-technical people how to do this. Alright, but let's get going. So, this is Zed. Here. Oh, my order is wrong. Let me fix that. Alright, so this is Observatory. This is my company, System 3. I built this whole website. Not the product itself, that's built by business partner Dan. That's more complicated, but this whole marketing website, including Observatory, which is a sort of data, like an analytics tool for the Obsidian ecosystem. I built this whole thing as a non-programmer. It still surprises me. So I'm working on this today. I got some problems with... basically, I want to add new data sources. The current data source is that Obsidian itself has been putting out since the beginning, since 2020, a daily list of a daily list of, there we go, plugins, and so this file is the list of all the plugins that have been approved, and that is updated about once a week. And then where's downloads? Or they call, oh, this, no, sorry, stats is the downloads for each plugin, or each version of each plugin. And then Obsidian community plugins, that's just the list of all the plugins with their descriptions and their repos. So I was able to get all those files going all the way back to the beginning of time and build Observatory based on that data. So you can see like download stats for different plugins. the category stuff is stuff that I invented. But right here, there's a funny business going on in our data. This is Relay, our plugin, because of the way that Obsidian counts its downloads. They count it, whatever. We don't have to get into all that, but there's a better way to count. So I'm now collecting data myself from the GitHub API, which is probably the same place that Obsidian gets this stats data. And I wonder how I would know if anyone was watching this thing. Oh, it says it right there. 0. Perfect. That's what I want. Makes it easy. Right. Oh yeah. I'll change the scene so you can see that better. There we go. That should be a little better. Okay, so yeah, it is hard to explain a going project. Tomorrow when I do a test, I'm going to start with a new project, so it'll be blank. That'll be easier. But okay, let's clear some stuff out. It's a little easier. Okay, so what we're doing is yeah, I gotta reset my keyboard shortcuts. That's what's gotta happen. Let me do that. Let me do that right now. I've updated my Z settings. This is my editor Z. It's great. I've added my own keyboard shortcuts, but I think I want to go back to the default out of the box ones, especially because if I'm doing these tutorials, I want to be able to just tell people what the keyboard shortcuts are and not have to translate. So we'll start a little demo. Hit Command Enter, Command Return to generate. So Command Palette, I think I've already changed that. I think it's Command P for me now. Yeah, these look like the ones that I've changed. It just said recording was stopped due to free plan limitation. What does that even mean? Whatever. Editor bindings, file finder. Yeah, so these are definitely ones I changed. And then I changed those too. Yeah. So, what was it called? Workspace toggle right and left dock. Command R, Command J, Command B is what they say. R, J, B. Why? I mean, that's like standard, I guess. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, I think I want to go with the default, even though I think it's kind of terrible. And then, hmm. What is this? Do I have a viewer? I don't want a viewer. Says I have a viewer. Is there somebody out there watching me right now? It's so weird. Well, if you're a viewer and you know who I am, send me a message somehow. Can I see this on YouTube? Uh, oh. Hmm. Anyway, alright, I should keep working. If I do have a viewer, I gotta... Oh no, they left. Good. Thank God. Great. Wait, they're back? I don't know if I have a viewer or not. Anyway, so I'm just trying to reset these key bindings. It'd be great if I could do both. B. Alright, so I think I'll just delete these. Just to make sure. So what you do in Z, if you've got something open in the editor panel and you want to bring it into the chat window, is /command and tab. So there it is, and I can expand that to make sure it's the same thing. It is. So, but I want to know. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's rename it to backup. I like to say, give me bash to rename it. It'll give me something that I could just plop into here. Paste it. Command C, Command V, enter. Yep, I can see the name updated, and then I might have to update Z. Let me test the old command. Yeah, that still works. So let's see if I restart Z. Is there restart? Reload? Workspace reload? Let's try it. Alright, let's try. Yep. The old, or my custom key commands don't work. So. Alright, great. So. Man, that watermark is pretty terrible. So big, doesn't really inspire me to pay for this product. The product does seem pretty good so far. What does that mean? Whoa. Okay, but how do I get that one back? Okay. Alright. Failed to load shell environment. What's this? Well, don't know what that is, but I mean, I know what all this data is. That's all like the new API that I was getting on the GitHub Actions, so I don't think we need to worry about that right now. Alright, so I want to get my context files open. So over here in the editor, I have my project folder, and then I have my AI context folder. It's a folder in my Obsidian vault, and I've got some stuff in there, like, let's see, you got this processing file with a bunch of context on this whole project, and then there's one more that I want, integration phase planning. How do I get these both open though? Processing. No. Okay. Can't quite pin down how Zed decides whether it's going to replace or open on top of in all cases. Alright, so tab, or no, slash and then tab to get that file in and that file in, and then it'll just be like, you with me? This is going up to Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I like 3.5 better than 3.7, actually. Okay, and let's see, I want to get a Jupyter notebook going. So over here in terminal, that one's not using anything, so I'm going to close that one. So Jupyter Lab. Oops. Get that going. And then I want it there, I want it here. Battle of Iwo Jima. Let's close that. I want to watch it. I'll save that for later. Go down here. Battle of Iwo Jima. Alright, so that should be working. How do I share it? Let's see. Okay, so where are we at? Got Jupyter Notebook open. Got that in context. Right, and we had started working on notebooks, integration notebooks, versions integration, which should be this one. Right, okay. And we have block 0 set up. Let me clear outputs of all cells, and we'll just run them afresh. So block 0 sets it up. Command enter. Command return to run it. There's the output. Plugins to process 5 because it's in tests mode. So that seems fine. And then 1.1. This is more loading. Why are we calling that? Oh, I got a watcher? I got someone out there in the audience. I got a fan? Well, I better put on a good show. Look at all these numbers. I heard that people love numbers, so I got a screen full of numbers and letters here. And look, I hit Command Enter, and I processed those numbers and came up with some more numbers. And then there's block 1.2. I'm getting that one going too. Let's see, it doesn't have any output right now. but it's about to. Alright, how's it doing? Yes. Look at all those numbers. Right, but there was no new data for it to process. So that's just a report on what was already there. Okay, so where were we? I think I had a new... Oh, I think I already put it in. I don't recall where I was yesterday. Alright, I'll just tell Claude. Yeah, I'm just going to give it all. We'll give him... well, no, I'm going to export from the notebook itself. So that's in source. Lib. Utils. Processing. Notebooks. Integration. Versions integration. I'm going to copy that path. We're going to save that to integration notebooks. Yeah, here. New folder. Copy path, save it here. Alright, copy that, paste it over here. Wait, whoops, that was the wrong one. This one. See if that works. Should show up right there. Yep, good. Okay. And then /tab, since that tab is open, that'll plop that right in there for the language model to be able to see it, and then Command Enter. 20,000 up here, it's showing me that I've everything that's in this chat window so far has used 20,000 tokens out of 200,000 for Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I tend to get up to about 100,000 and then I'll start a new chat. Okay, so where are we? I feel like this should actually be more like its setup. I feel like it should be more like block 0.1 rather than 1.1. Okay, alright, so yeah, I'm going to do that. That'll be a little nicer. 0.1, 0.0, and then this is going to be, I'll make that heading 2, 0.1, call that 0.1. That's going to go down by 2. And then next, we'll be putting in next will be 1 point. Oh, that's right. I remember where we are. Okay, so that's now 0.1. Right. Okay. And then where did we have that script that we were messing with? configuration. It was something like block 2. There it is. Cool. And right, so I can show it to him right. No, it was here. And is that right? 1.2, yeah, here it is. So partly this is to verify for myself that we're looking at the right thing, but it's also partly to get Claude being a little bit smarter about what's happening in these files by having him put out some thinking tokens on them. I'm kind of surprised to hear that this takes df Obsidian. That sounds like a data frame, not a Parquet file. It should be taking Parquet files. Let's see what he says about that. The version should be reading directly from Parquet files in the extracted directory. Yeah, right, so it's using a data frame. What current has df Obsidian from df Obsidian? That doesn't sound right. This sounds like lies and hallucinations. Let's just see if that's even in here. No. Yeah, this fucking guy. Okay. So it's reading Obsidian versions file. And it's loading the GitHub releases file. Alright, so that all sounds right. What's going on here? This got messed up. I don't actually know what all this code is doing. I've never really looked at this. I probably should. Let's take a look. Alright, so it's got all the imports. Then it's finding the location of the Git file. So it looks like that's doing something like check if there's a Git file in this current folder, and if not, go to the parent of the current folder and repeat. And if you get to the end, you can't find anything, give an error. And then pipeline. Cool. So it is working. It is finding these are the correct names of the Parquet files. Oh no, these are the folders, the paths, and then right. So extracted directory, integrated directory, correct. Right, then it is identifying the files. And what is this one? Oh, so this versions.parquet is what? Oh, right, that's going to be what we're going to call. So these are the input, these are the extracted, and then the name of this, the output that we're going to save is going to be versions.parquet. It's going to go in this, it's going to go in the, yep, Observatory integrated directory. Great, cool. All right, and then plugin selection modes. Right, so this is setting up how this workflow can run on a single plugin or a test set of plugins or all plugins. Get plugins to process. So if you don't have it in a mode, it complains. But if you do have it in a mode, selection modes, mode, plugin ID. I don't quite know what that logic is doing right there. The self-selection modes is plugin ID. But anyway, that's all going to be code for the mode selection thing, which isn't. I don't really need to figure that out. It's using the Excalidraw plugin as the default if you just do single plugin ID. You just do one. Get single plugin. Get test set is these. And get all plugins is going to do. So it's going to read. Read some Parquet file. And find the unique values in there. Obsidian versions file. And it's going to read. So it's going to find all the unique version plugins from either of the two input files, the source files, and return a sorted list. Obsidian plugins. Set of GitHub plugins of. I'm not. In logic, that's an OR operator. Is it an OR operator here? I'm not quite sure. Um, but okay. So it's going to get a list of all the plugins. Then it's going to create the plugin pipeline config. Pipeline config. Is that a new function? No, that's that. Or it's going to create a new instance, I guess, of a new function that's of that class. Mode, test set, this is where I change it. Plugin ID. None. So I guess it's like if I don't put something in there, then it'll use Excalidraw. No, I'll leave it. Plugins to process. We've seen that is get plugins to process. Mode plugin ID. Alright, whatever. That's all good enough. And then here, well, I think what this is doing is like just pulling in those two, like that's like setting up where all the paths and the files are, and now it's actually like loading those two files with all their data and then showing me something about what it saw. This is the summary table. Yeah. Alright, that's all fine. So now on to the processing. Okay. I got a new subscriber. Ivan Georgina Poosh. Great. Welcome to the good life, Ivan. Alright, core version processing. Yeah, so what's going on here is like it's supposed to be taking that extracted data and taking it through all of the transformation steps that get us to a useful kind of like database of plugins and their versions with their download data. So yeah, a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to go through right now, but filling gaps and then making the downloads monotonic, and then yep, a bunch of processing steps. I don't know, let's just run it. Did I run it already? I did. Oh no, we already have it. Yeah, so I could look at it. But okay, so that's what we did the other day. So this is like Claude being an idiot. It's best if you don't let him have the memory of him being an idiot. Maybe I'll call this 1.1. Now that we've moved the other one out. Like 1.1. Okay. And this will be 1.2 whenever we have one. Oh, but now we have 0.0, but we start zero numbering up there. We gotta fix that. It's gonna be confusing. 0.1, and then that's gonna be 0.2, 0.2. All right. That 1, call that 0. So we got 1.1. Alright, onward to 1.2 pretty soon. I'm glad it gives me an answer. We're now up to 39K out of about 100,000 is when I run out of space for my own preferences. Okay. But before we do that, I want to get some testing validation blocks in here before we complexify all this. Okay. So what's the output of this so far? It's this, and that is, I guess it's whatever is here as main file. Probably it's not yet. No, it is saving a Parquet file. So there is a Parquet output here already. I want this to show their path names. Okay. Put that in there. Run that with Command Enter. See what we get down to the bottom. Okay, so the data frame is called Final DF. Great. 212 megabytes, and the path for the Parquet file. Perfect. Love to see that. What an upgrade. Okay. I got 2 viewers right now. Hi. Awkward. Alright, so I want to put some testing stuff in here. So let's see, I think I've got them over, yeah, I think they're in here. We're looking for this chart. Chart. There it is. Pipeline. Yeah. That's the one. Okay, so I'm just gonna show it to Claude. Pipeline. Yeah, that was the old end-to-end pipeline. I should just put it into, where's that file? Block 2. Yeah, great. Can I just put it in here? No, this is already so long. I'll make a new file. No, I'll just do it right here. No, I will do it as a new file because I want him to tell me. Well, I'm making new files because I got to be careful here with Claude. There's so much logic in, like, I'm doing a porting thing, and Claude's kind of vibesy with logic. Like, if you give him a bunch of stuff, he'll be like, yeah, I copied it, but he'll like leave stuff out and add stuff and change stuff. So I can't. We put so much work into the logic here that I can't just show it to him and have him rewrite it. I have to like kind of do it in a way where I can monitor the exact changes that he's trying to make. So I'm gonna put it here. Here it is. What needs to change? New notebook. So he didn't give me a great answer. He gave me too much stuff, but I can go over here and I can do Command A and then Control Enter to do the inline, and I'll be like pulling the changes. Enter, and then we can just watch. This will read through what he said, read through all this actually, and it'll read through this and it'll show me the diff. Cool. And I can see that it's so far it's just changing file names. That's good. That's what I want. Cool. So I'll hit Command S to save that, Command All, Command A to select all, Command C to copy it. Go over here. I'm gonna make a validate. Escape M to convert that into a text. B to make a new block. Command V to paste that, Command Enter to run it. Okay, that actually looks great. So it seems like we have, what's that right there? No, there are some gaps. What is that? Let's check. It should look the same. '22, '23. I think that was one of the places where there was another version that Dan deleted, and I did some stuff to get it to fill those gaps. 22, 23. It's possible that that would be visible there, but okay, that's more like chart logic. I'm not sure that we're going to be putting anything in the code to deal with that. And yeah, there is this extended 0 zone. Why is that? Is it 0? Okay, it kind of seems like we might be... Kind of seems like we might be identifying the wrong version there. In both cases, but... It's going up very slightly, but I think, yeah, I think what's happened is that we've... Oh. Probably this is because in this point right here, a new latest version came out, and our logic says when a new version comes out, identify it as such. But then Dan deleted that version, and then our system like doesn't know what to do, I think. That's my guess. Two, 23. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's not a big deal. I'm not gonna stop the presses for that. Let's just do one more test here. Let's do it with oh, so I think we've already processed this for 5, so we can actually run this for a different plugin, I think. I bet if I just do this. No other ID, yeah. That looks good. Alright, great. So, tell Claude the good news. Just to keep the context window from getting too bloated. Remove that. We don't need him to say all that again, so I'm going to remove all that. So, right, we've got some choices to make here. What we're after is an integrated Parquet file that has like kind of all of our interpretations and cleanups of the data baked in. So it sort of hides a lot of complexity from the downstream processing. So, for example, we now have 2 data sources that both give us downloads stats. We have the Observatory stats data. So in the raw data folder, we have like Obsidian community plugin data. And then now we're hitting these GitHub APIs. So specifically the GitHub releases API and the Obsidian plugins downloads data. That's like basically the same stuff, same data. And so we've taken both these raw data sources and pulled them all into each their own extracted Parquet file, and then those Parquet files are being pulled into our processing flow here. And now we're figuring out what to do with that. Where block 1.1 was just working so far with Obsidian stats data, and that's what we've been doing for a while. But now, for the first time, we're going to start integrating that Obsidian, or that GitHub API data. And yeah, so the questions are... First, both the and we've already really kind of answered this. And we're going to use the let me see an example of this output. Here it is. So we're going to use the data source column to mark the data source. Okay. So then another question. Well, so what's the switchover date? And there are a few candidates here. So we can see when we started collecting this releases data on the 7th, but then we had some problems. Now we do have, this just says the 7th, 8th, the 9th. It looks like it gets cut off there, but it doesn't actually. I have more. I just haven't. It's been running on the remote repo via GitHub Actions. So we do have more, but there was a problem where on like the 10th or 11th or both, the data was wrong. So I gotta go look at that. But just the fact that so we could say, well, we're collecting it regularly now, so we'll start now. Even today, though, I think I was a little bit late today because there was another problem. But I think it was actually because of daylight saving times. I was kind of saved. And I was only like maybe 20 minutes late. I think that's within the window of tolerance. But missing a whole day is a bit of a problem. But with the Obsidian stats data, many days were missed. And what we did in that case, that's why we have all the like gap filling and data smoothing and monotonic updates assurances. So we could just kind of use that same logic on the GitHub data. It's a little bit like faking the data or filling it in, like where we have missing data, we interpolate across that gap. We know what it was to start and we know what it was to end. And we say, all right, well, the middle is the halfway point. So we could do that. It's a little bit faking it, but it's a good estimate. So we could either do that or we could wait until we have reliable GitHub API stats and then work with that. Let's check what we actually have. So we'll go to GitHub. That's the run that just ran. But let's go to the actual files, data raw, releases. We can look at any of these, it should all be the same. Okay, so here's when it ran. So the 13th. Yeah. 23. Wow. Wait. Let me give these to Claude so we can look at them together. I'm gonna let him generate to get a little bit of tokens on there, and I'll paste. Oh man, he's saying dumb stuff. I don't want that. You got when he says dumb stuff, you gotta delete it. You can't let it stay on the record, or it keeps him dumb. Wastes tokens, but also he's like always just continuing what Claude is always continuing what has come before in the chat. So if there's dumb stuff being said, then more dumb stuff will be said. Not in UTC, in Pacific time. Yeah, so wow. So we were really right on, even though that was a manual run? No. This was the manual run, but it was actually only a minute off. And then today was another manual run, but it was only 27 minutes off. Really not too bad. Yeah. At least we'll so there's this thing market. What date was that? We can see it over here. There's the skyrocket. Yeah, I should get better tools for that. Or better charts. It's a little more visible here. I have a daily downloads. Oh, right, I can go... Where is that? Here? I can't... Oh, I could go... Turn all these off, I think. Yeah, but it's still smooth. How do... Oh. That's where it is. And daily. Still smooth. I don't like that. Alright, so it's... Yeah, here's another place where Dan deleted a version, so we lost some downloads. Okay, and then on... Oh. 15th, 16th is fine. 17th. So I think it's here. I think it's on the February 18th. So, okay, that... Right? I don't quite know why that was skyrocketing like that. Going up and up and up. You'd think that it would have, like... Since this is daily downloads, that it would have jumped. Oh, maybe it's more users getting on that version. That must be it. When they, as the user downloads that version, then they start adding to that pool. Okay, so I think that that jump begins on maybe here, maybe on the 17th. That's within, I'm gonna call it the 18th. Let's see. So, right, and then main.js, I think, are on that all seems wrong. Is that right? I gotta check. I gotta check. Was this? Oh, no, we would have had a download spike then because we released a new version, but it was all right. Okay, I can figure this out. So yeah. All right. Mute. We're back. Oh, I've been covering up the chat window with my face. Let's change that. Where's the least needed spot? Maybe like down here. What? I keep doing that. Oh, you just won't let me move it? Is that the idea? It's like a pro scene? What? How do I just move the box, please? I know you know what I want. Well, dark mode? Alright, it's gonna have to stay there covering up, and you'll just have to kind of not see what I type, and that's sort of annoying. But tomorrow I'll use a different tool. Alright, so, cool. It gave me a box, or a block to run. Let's get it. Copy that. Go back here. We're going to do a new, like, validate block. Why is this all messed up? I don't know. Here, and B for a new block. Command V. Command Enter. Errors. Going to be like errors. I don't know if that helps, but I think it might, to be like, actually get it right this time. What even is all this? What I asked for is not that complicated. Oh. Of course, it was a dumb question. We don't have the data to compare to. Yeah. way more than is needed for this query. That's how Claude likes to do it. What's going on here? So run that. Okay, so daily downloads. Alright, I think actually this is the point. I think these were all just higher download numbers because of releases and maybe like the banner. Dan put a banner in at some point that tells users that you should update. This is clearly where it gets weird, and then, huh. Why does it shoot so much and then go back? Why do you... This cumulative download line is clearly wrong. Why are you doing that? Let's get out of here with that. Oh, we got some comments? Who's leaving comments? Asterisks? Are you on a beach? That's this, whoever you are, asterisk, if you're still here, these are the first comments I've ever received while streaming, so good to be with you. Yeah, I'm on a beach in Santa Barbara. Yes, in a van with Starlink. Yeah. You're here, cool. Well, yeah, just doing some coding with Claude and Zed. And you're right about the errors. We're hitting them. We're hitting them and we're trying to fix them. You watched a game dev video and now this is on my page. A game dev video, something... Oh, so like it thinks that you're into development videos, like coding videos, so it showed you me. That's cool. Well, I'm not a programmer. This is what I'm trying to do here is I'm not a programmer, but everything that you're seeing here I actually built, which is shocking to me because I'm not a programmer, but I built it using Zed as my editor, which is this program over here, and then an AI. So over here in this window, I'm talking with Claude, which is the language model made by Anthropic, and this is how I do things. And through that method, I've been able to make this whole, marketing website. And basically, I can do stuff with code now, which just shocks me. So what I'm trying to do is figure out how to stream. This is my first time ever doing it. This is a test, so that I can show non-technical people, non-programmers, how to code, how to build stuff. So if you're interested in learning how to code with some very modern tools like Zed and AI, yeah, thanks, brother. Then, well, that's what I'm trying to do. All right, so, and you're my entire audience at this moment. So ask me any questions if you feel like it, and I'll explain stuff to you. But I'll keep going while we're hanging out. Alright, so... Yeah, so trying to figure out what's the date on which the data got funky. And I think it's normal. I think it went up here. But, oh yeah, you got some homework assignments? Are you... What kind of school are you in? Are you doing computer science or are you doing some other topic? High school computer science. Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, what are they saying to you actually? Like, all right, so I'm 39 years old. So I was in high school. I graduated high school in 2003. And when I was in high school, teachers were still saying like, you can't use a calculator because you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket your whole life. And now we absolutely do have calculators in our pockets the whole time. So all those teachers that were saying like, you have to learn how to do this by hand because you need to be prepared for the day when you don't have the tool, they weren't quite right. I think there is value in learning how to do things, by hand in the old way. But on the other hand, there's value in learning to use the tools. And the tools of today are AI. Like, you're going to have AI your whole life. Everything that you want to produce, you're going to be able to produce with the help of AI. So, I don't know. What are your teachers saying about that? Are they encouraging you to use AI? Or are they saying it's bad? Are they saying don't use it? Oh, it's telling me my stream's going to end in 30 minutes because I'm on the free version. So, alright, that's when we'll be done. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so you're saying your teacher says is telling you not to use AI as you'll not learn from it. I mean, I think that cuts both ways, right? I'm curious what you think, but like my view is like, I built this whole thing without ever learning Java or JavaScript or CSS. Okay, so you're gonna get tested in a way where you have to write code on paper. That's pretty interesting. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I support like teachers making people learn how to do things by hand, but I think that the line, it depends on the reasoning. If and I think at least my experience with school was teachers were constantly underestimating the value of learning the modern way of doing things, like learning how to use graphing calculators like a pro, or learning how to use, I mean, like, nobody at that time foresaw that we would all have iPhones in our pockets. Um, so they were not able to teach us that. But like right now, I don't know. I don't know how much teaching are you getting about using AI? Because like, look at the shit you can do with AI. You can like, and it's only going to get more advanced. You're going to be able to build all kinds of crazy stuff over the course of your lifetime with the help of AI. So let's see. We could. So either way, we don't have API data for that range. So, but we could some kind of special case interpolation for system 3. I think we should actually. Since I'm building the analytics tool, I get to make those kinds of calls. So let's see what that data looks like in the GitHub. What effect the time of collection had? So you try to do your assignments by yourself And if you're getting errors and getting stuck, then you copy and paste my code in ChatGPT and explain what I'm doing wrong. Great, cool. That seems like a good way to do it. Do you ever use an editor like this? This tool right here is Zed. It's free. You get it at zed.dev, and then you can bring ChatGPT or Claude or whatever language model you want into Zed via the API, and it's just like another way to interact with language models. Yeah, those checkers are bullshit. A lot of schools have banned the checkers because the checkers are dumb. What do you like most? Like, what do you study? What do you want to do with your life? Do you have a sense? Do you want to do? Are you more into the sciences? Are you more into English? More into math? What's your stuff? All right, I'm gonna get this checker in here. Okay. Yeah, so we got this. Wait, why do we have it so many times? Oh, he's showing it to me for... I see. I don't want that for every version. What do I want it for? Some of all versions. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Error. Okay. Manifest downloads. Okay, so they have remained high. So let's see. Oh, but crap, I want that for more. Oh, I gotta pull. I gotta do a get pull to get that data. Yeah. What's the fastest way? Going into business, yeah, cool. Totally, that seems great. Well, all the more reason for you. Like, if you're, I mean, I think, who knows, or like do whatever you want to do, but like, it seems like you're not going to be a programmer. You're not going to be like a computer scientist, but you probably will be building all kinds of stuff with code in software. It's just that you'll be doing more like orchestration by telling AI what to build rather than writing the code yourself. So all the more reason, I think, for you now to be practicing with these AI tools so that as a non-programmer you can still build stuff. You can prototype, and as the AI gets smarter, you'll be able to do all kinds of cool stuff. Alright, so let's see if that works. No, didn't work. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It's not yet on Windows. Yeah. Well, so VS Code is good. Use Cursor instead then. Cursor is built on VS Code, so it's similar, but basically all these like AI features that I'm showing you here, they have that in Cursor too. I like Zed better. I've tried both, but most people like Cursor better. So you'll be in good hands, especially if you already know VS Code, if you know it a little bit. Vibecoding is a keyword for this. That it's like rather than writing every character yourself, even like that comes from Andrei Karpathy, who's like an experienced AI programmer, and it's like rather than doing it all yourself, you can do this something more like what I'm doing here. Just kind of like tell the AI what you want, and then copy paste stuff until you get a result that you're happy with. All right, great, got it. Like I just did, got that data. All right, that looks not even that incomplete. Interesting. Oh yeah, we missed the 11th, so we missed one day. All right, but I'll run this again. And what do we got? Wait, that didn't work. Oh, fuck, we gotta run. All right, we gotta run all these again. Run all cells. Yeah, definitely. What kind of app? Is it your choice? Build whatever you want. And if so, what do you want? What do you want to build? What are you thinking about? A game or a utility? It's actually a really good opportunity to think about, to think like a business person, think like a sort of a product person. Like, what is a problem in your own life that you might be able to solve with software? Like, what's a pain point that you feel? Because if you feel it, then good chance there are other people out there that feel it too. Seems like that should have worked. Why didn't that work? Alright, I'm going to start over. Clear outputs. We'll do it from the top. Oh, it's probably not. Alright, it's probably not. Bet I gotta go over here and delete the Parquet file. No, but it's adding more data, so it should be updating. Why is that not working? Alright, what does it say? Alright, System 3 is on the list. Loading the data. Oh, of course, because it's not... no, okay. So it's added that. Alright, and then we've extracted it. So it's in there. What are the dates of extraction? Okay, no, so it didn't extract the most recent dates. Alright, so that's what we gotta look at. And what is this one? So O.1 configuration, O.2 load and examine, and O.2. And O. I already didn't recognize it at O.2. This year is your choice. Last year, forced to do a game through block coding. Okay. So what do you think? You got any ideas? It's a good thing. So end of the year, when is that? That's coming up. You're like at the end of the school year now, right? So this is like in the next couple months. It's good to like have that prompt around and let it just sit in your head as you go through your life and notice problems. Especially when you're into stuff, when you have hobbies or I don't know. Everything in your life seems normal to you, but like there are actually a lot of things about your life that are unusual to you, and that's good. Like wherever you're doing something that, like where you're having some experience out of the mainstream, that's a good place to look for problems that you might be able to solve. Wait, but why would it not? See if I can figure it out. Oh, right, because we have to go and do the extraction scripts again. That makes sense. This is just integration. Alright. So back out. Notebooks. Extraction. We'll do GitHub releases extraction. Alright, we'll do run all these. Run all cells. Let's see what happens. Block 0. Yeah. Block 1. Oh yeah, this code. Huh. It's interesting. It's just going to run across the whole thing. Some of your mates are doing games, gym session tracking apps, some options. Some options of either a all you need app similar to Notion. Have you seen Obsidian? You should check out Obsidian. That's my company. My company that here. This is us. System 3. What we build is an app or a plugin for Obsidian. It's called Relay, and Relay is Obsidian is a great place for you to mess with building like an app, building a plugin. It's very extensible and real up and comer. I feel like Notion's great. I like Notion, but Notion is a bit more of like a mature ecosystem. What do you got installed? Obsidian or Relay? Or both? That's what we do. Relay. Great. Cool. Have you used it? I mean, I use it all the time. I think it's maybe my favorite piece of software of all time. Nice. Yeah, so I would say get it on desktop too, and use it for a bit, and then see what. There's so many plugins. There's so many opportunities to build plugins. There's stuff that's needed for Obsidian, and like these download numbers that I'm showing you here. I mean, it feels to me like early days for the Obsidian ecosystem. So if you get in there, if you start using it now and build a plugin, like there's still lots of opportunity. So like you could get in there and build some AI plugin that does some function that's useful for you. Alright, so does that work? Where are we? Still working, 98%. Okay, for now it should work, I think. So I probably gotta go versions integration. Let's just run them all again. Run all cells. Yep, there we go. All right, great. So let's look at that data. Let's get this off. Yeah, that makes sense. Moving between apps where you keep your notes is like, it's kind of like moving your house. It's a big job. Okay, so it looks like that ratio has been pretty consistent. So probably March 5th was the date. Let me see what Claude thinks. Oh. Use main.js downloads starting March 7th. For March 11th, interpolate. Yep, I agree. For data before March 7th, use the Obsidian stats data, but with a correction factor. Yeah, that might be the right thing to do. So we can actually just kind of interpolate. Yeah, so our plugin for Obsidian, which is called Relay, it makes Obsidian multiplayer. So our goal is that basically, like, you can use Obsidian for work, where you're going to need to work with your coworkers, or for school, where you're going to need to do projects with other people. Notion already does that. Notion is like kind of multiplayer out of the box, but not Obsidian. Obsidian is a local first, your files are all on your own machine kind of system. So it's a pretty complicated problem to solve, how to let two Obsidian users share files and not have merge conflicts. So we use a system called a CRDT, conflict-free replicated data type, that basically guarantees that it treats every update to a document as like a special sort of object, and it guarantees that if any number of collaborators on a document have all of the updates, all of the update objects, and then they, in whatever order, and processes them, then they're guaranteed to converge on the same document at the end of the day. So yeah, it's like bring Obsidian to work or bring Obsidian to school. Try it out. I'd love to hear your feedback, and join our Discord. You can chat with me in there too. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. There's Obsidian probably has around 4 million users worldwide, which is not a huge. I mean, it's not a huge number. Notion probably has something, I don't know, more like 100 million. I don't know what their stats are. Let's see. Yeah, 100 million. Um, and I think the main thing holding Obsidian back is that it's single player. So you can't use it at work. So we're not the only one building a plugin or building this kind of functionality. I think ours is the best, but Obsidian itself is building something very similar. So I think Obsidian is about to make the conversion from a single player to a multiplayer product, and I think that opens up a big market. All right. So yeah, we can do that. And then what about... Yeah. Do you know anyone else that uses Obsidian? Any of your classmates? And then what do people use? Like a lot of people using Notion. There's another app that I've heard a lot of students use called Good Notes or something like that. Are people are people on computers like you're in high school? Are people like while they're sitting in class, are they on computers taking notes? Oh, okay. Use Google Docs. Cool. Google Classroom. Interesting. Okay. Do any teachers require you to like not have a computer and just use paper? Wow. So we just actually had a big jump. Huh. Most classes are run fully paper free. Wow, cool. That is so different than what it was like the many years ago that I was in school. All right, my friend. I'm about at the end of where they're going to kick me out because I don't pay for this streaming tool that I'm using. Thanks for showing up. Great talking with you. This is my first ever stream, and you're my first friend to have made here. So I appreciate chatting with you and hearing about your life. Yeah, check out Obsidian. Come join us in Discord. I could, I'll be in there. I'd love to see you more, and I'll probably be experimenting more with the streaming. So, um, yeah, likewise. So maybe I'll see you on here again. All right. Likewise. Thanks. Take care. Oh, the Discord. You can go to Discord, System 3, Discord.system, uh, Discord.system3.md. I typed that into comments. I'm not sure if it went. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. Cool. Great. All right. See you, Asterix.